Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of StormCast. I'm your host, Joey Pisani, here from Atlanta, Georgia. We have our awesome panel with us this evening. From left to right, we'll start with our member in the UK, Ben. Great to have you here on the StormCast. Good evening.
Good evening. How are we all
Also
doing?
with us from the Great North, up in Wisconsin, is Dan. Good evening, Dan. Great to have you back again.
Hello.
Also with us this evening from up in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, one of our newer members, Laura Kosh, will be taking a look at some of her video later this evening. Good evening, Laura.
Good evening, everyone.
And my own chase partner from Kennesaw, Georgia, Nick Carter. Good evening, Nick.
What's up, Joey? What's up, guys?
All right, guys. Well, we have a great Stormcast here planned for tonight. We have a lot of different things we're going to talk about. We've got some severe weather potential coming up this week, flooding potential. Snow is a huge story. So we're actually going to start talking about our upcoming severe weather. We had a marginal risk today. Didn't see any storms across Texas or Oklahoma, unfortunately. Maybe might see some late tonight. We'll see. I don't think so. But I'm going to toss it over to Ben, and he's going to give us an update on our SPC outlook. Because, Ben, we saw on there a risk area for this coming Saturday. So kind of talk to us about what we're looking at for this weekend.
Yes, we did indeed. Looking at a 15% risk for Saturday, which is the equivalent of a slight. This is looking to affect the states of East Texas, Northern Louisiana, Northern Mississippi, Western Tennessee, northwestern parts of Alabama, and all of Arkansas. So 6 states are under the gun for this.
Wow.
Should see a chance of isolated severe thunderstorms. Few tornadoes possible, as you would normally expect. Certainly one to watch. As I said, it's a good few days out here. It'll be day 6 of 8 out of these next few days. So could easily change in the blink of an eye, as we all well know.
Yep. And
it's starting from we've got a major shortwave trough that's digging its way across California and the Great Basin through Thursday, and then it'll be heading east across the desert and the southwest and southern Rockies through day 5, which is Friday, and then the central and southern plains into Saturday.
Yeah, and Saturday we're going to have that Gulf moisture coming north.
Yes, that is set to strengthen it on a Saturday. Once it impacts with that, it should deepen and shift quickly into east northeast into the Ohio Valley and Midwest overnight on the Saturday. So it could be a nighttime event, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Gotta love those nighttime events.
The low level moisture will return with this from the Gulf of Mexico should prove sufficient for at least some warm sector Cape development with this setup. So yes, we could see
go ahead.
Although we had a few tornadoes earlier in the month, this could be, if it does hold up and tap together, it could be the most significant event of the year so far. But as I always say, only time will tell, and it's up to Mother Nature whether she's going to play ball or not.
Well, let's definitely hope she does. I mean, I think we're all kind of itching to really see our first severe weather event of the year. I mean, Dan up there, up in Wisconsin, I mean, it has been a struggle this week, hasn't it, Dan?
Well, it's been all right. I mean, this whole season has been kind of strange for us. We're definitely well below what normal would be for snow. And as this storm comes through here, we were originally just to my north. They had issued originally a ice storm warning for the storm that was going to be coming through. They have since downgraded that to a winter weather advisory. I was going to try to share screen here so you can see just how much right now the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region are under some kind of advisory right now.
That's crazy.
A lot of winter weather advisories. Around my area, we're actually under I believe it's a flood watch.
This winter feels like it must have been really long and slow for you guys.
Here for just a second.
The winter weather throughout the whole country this year has just been extremely weird.
Yeah, so just to our south, they're still under a flood watch. Right now, we're under a dense fog advisory, so definitely some stuff moving in.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
So, I forgot what I was going to say, but
you must be getting bored of all the snow, though. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be I'll be getting to the point where I'll be thinking, if I see one more snowflake, I'm going to scream.
I mean, the whole winter weather this year has just been weird. I mean, all the way from up north to the Midwest. I mean, especially down here in Georgia, when we got that, what was it, December 18th or something like that, if I stand, correct me if I'm wrong on that date, when we got 10 plus inches down here in Georgia. I mean, Georgia hasn't seen that much snow since the blizzard of 93. And then it was another one that came through too. It was mostly a lot less snow, but a lot more of ice involved with it. But I mean, you're talking about that same storm, in Texas of all places, dropped a crap ton of snow. It's just been weird.
Pennsylvania had the worst of it though. They had 152 inches, which is like 4 inches shy of 13 feet.
Here's a look into see when it's actually doing right now as it's starting to move across the area. See if I can.
Was that snow, Dan? There?
No, that's probably going to still be falling as rain.
Gotcha. What are your temperatures like there right now?
I'll have to check. Probably right around 36, 37.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, still pretty warm. Pretty warm. I know out in South Dakota.
Yeah. Our closest weather site, which is not that far, exactly 36 degrees. So that was right.
Yeah, a little bit warm for the white stuff.
Yeah, but we're under a flood watch until 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
How much rain?
Because don't forget, we still have a lot of well, not a lot, but we still have some snow that's still on the ground that's melting with all these warmer temperatures too. So you can combine that with whatever amount of rain that we're supposed to get tonight. I would imagine that's the reason why we have the flood watch, because that's a lot of water with a saturated ground and nowhere to go.
Yeah, and speaking of
ground can only absorb so much.
Yeah, and speaking of flooding, that kind of takes us into the next thing I wanted to talk about. And we have Laura here with us. And before I get to you, Laura, I want us all to take a look at this video that she sent into us from the other day. And she'll probably talk to us as we check out this video. We'll talk about it. But this is some video that she sent into us from, I believe it was Slippery Rock Creek area there in Pennsylvania. So check some of this out here. This was from February 17th, so just 2 days ago. This was the scene there in Pennsylvania. Just check out some of that flooding and just really some dramatic scenes coming from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was actually I did Connoquenessing Creek, Slippery Rock Creek, and then I documented conditions along the Allegheny River. The river was flowing really high with a swift current. It was crazy.
Reminds me of the floods that we had back here in Georgia several years ago.
So, Laura, were there a lot of road closures in the area like you see in that shot there?
As far as I know, there were 5 or 6 roads closed. I got to 2 of the closed roads. The other closed roads were in southeastern Butler County. I couldn't make it down there. But there was a landslide on Route 356. By the time I got to it, it was already cleaned up because it happened early in the morning, 6 a.m.
Gotcha.
I targeted like central Butler County and then I drove north. But as you can see, there are cars, vehicles turning around because the road, was closed. By early afternoon, the water has subsided and some of the roads opened back up. We do have another chance of flooding end of the week because it's going to be so warm and the ground is so saturated.
It's nice to see those people taking the advice that we keep saying time and time again: turn around, don't drown. There's too many people that ignore that phrase.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There was somebody last month in Pittsburgh that drove through an area that's nicknamed the bathtub, and he needed to be rescued. I think the footage went viral. It's on YouTube. It was back in January 13th, 14th. It was over a month ago.
Wow. So, I mean, that is really some impressive video. Thank you so much for sending that in. So, you mentioned that you're expecting some more flooding this week. How much more rain are you guys expecting?
I'm not sure about totals yet, but the National Weather Service has us under a hazardous outlook for a chance of more flooding end of the week.
Gotcha. Well,
Wednesday we have a cold front coming through, so I'm assuming we're going to be getting some heavy rains. I'm going to try to be out Wednesday afternoon, seeing what I can get.
Awesome. And, talking about flooding, that's something that I was going to talk about with Nick, is that we are expecting a lot of rain really to develop pretty much over most of this week. There's going to be a pretty big flood threat across a good portion of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, say from northeast Texas, pretty much stretching up to the northeast, especially across Arkansas, western Tennessee, into Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and then even stretching up into Pennsylvania. I mean, we're talking a wide area of 3 to 5 inches possible in Arkansas and western Tennessee. Some places could see locally up to 8 inches or more just across that region with this frontal boundary that's going to be kind of making its way south and just kind of stall out and sag there across those areas for that region, which is good because in a sense it's good, but in a sense it's bad. The good news is really more for the southern states like Texas and Louisiana and Arkansas, where we've had a bit of a drought most of this winter, with a lot of the precipitation being more up north in places like the Pacific Northwest and Northeast. And it's been a fairly dry winter besides those couple rounds of snow that we've had. But now with this new system, looks like we're going to see a lot of flooding potential across a good portion of the Midwest up into the upper Great Lakes region as we go through the week. So as Ben said earlier, what was that you said, Ben?
Oh, Justin's here. About turning around and don't drown, was it?
Yeah, there we go. There's our famous saying, turn around, don't drown. Awesome.
Too many people ignoring that. Nothing gets my goat more than people ignoring that.
Yeah, and just to...
You don't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you all see me?
No, we can't see you, but we can hear you. So wanted to... Right now, we're aware you're under a winter weather advisory, right?
Yes. It went in effect at about 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's supposed to cancel early tomorrow morning. We're expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow as the main piece of energy ejects from the southwest and moves northeast. And we're getting snow late.
I think we're losing him. Yep, we lost him. Well, that
Oh.
sorry, that was he's out there right now in South Dakota. I'll kind of show you where he's at here on the map. So he's here in southeast South Dakota. So he's under that same area of the winter weather advisory that Dan was talking about earlier. And so they're expecting, I want to say, maybe Dan, you might know a little bit more about this, but I believe some places are expecting like 6 to 12 inches of snow with this winter storm.
If they're expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow, it wouldn't be anywhere where there's a winter weather advisory. That would be a winter storm warning. So maybe out towards further west in South Dakota, possibly nowhere near where I'm at.
Yeah, I know.
Out towards what would that be? Wyoming, there, South Dakota, northwest Nebraska, possibly looking at higher amounts there, which would warrant the winter storm warning. And then I'm guessing that due to higher temperatures, that's bringing the snow totals down as you move further east, because I know that's the case for us. Otherwise, we'd be getting a lot of snow right now as well.
Yeah. And as I was mentioning,
so it just depends on which side of that low you're on.
Yeah, exactly. If you're on the back side or if you're on the front side,
right?
That colder
Especially
area.
if there's mixing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to talk with Dan about that because I mean, you guys were supposed to have pretty decent ice storm. It seemed like. I mean, was there any ice at all, or was there no ice? What was it like there in Wisconsin?
I have to go back and review what exactly the bulletin said, which I can go ahead and do that here as we're talking. But they did remove the ice storm warning for counties north of me, still talking southeast Wisconsin, south central Wisconsin, that they were originally forecasting a ice storm for. That has since been removed.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
Taking a look
from
here.
Ice storm, and now you're into what a flood?
Basically, it was due to a decrease in the amount of freezing rain expected and slightly warmer temperatures. The ice storm warning has been replaced with the winter weather advisory. So that would be the indication there. So conditions just not quite right for ice. We're looking at pretty much an all-rain event here for us. Further south, closer towards the Illinois-Wisconsin border for me. Further north, as you could see on that graphic that I showed earlier, encompassing pretty much the rest of the state of Wisconsin, along with most of Minnesota, if not all of it, that winter weather advisory, where because you're on that other side of the low, will give you the colder temperatures just enough to make that primarily a snow event, warranting those advisories.
Yeah, and this is all in association here with Winter Storm Oliver, I believe. Is that the naming it? Maybe the other one. But yeah, I mean, definitely looks like definitely pretty significant. And if you also take a look at the map here, down here you can already see some of these flash. I believe these are flash flood watches. Yeah, flash flood watches here for portions of northeast Texas, extreme southeast Oklahoma, and southwest Arkansas. And we'll probably start to see these flash flood watches being expanded further off to the east and northeast over the next couple of days. Really, particularly Tuesday into Wednesday, I would say we'll probably see some of the heaviest rain across this area in the Arklatex region.
And here we'll zoom in here a little bit, as you can see here. What I was talking about before, flood watches out to the east with Michigan, northern Illinois, and then the snow event out towards the west and then north of that. So lots of colors on the map right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be an interesting week of weather. I have a feeling, from the snow in the north to the flooding to the severe weather potential for the end of the week. Definitely going to be a busy weather week, but definitely stay with Extreme Weather videos for all the latest updates. If you're not definitely make sure you're subscribed to us here on our YouTube channel and following us on our Facebook and Twitter pages. We'll keep you guys informed and ahead of the storm, keeping you guys safe. Definitely want you guys to be able to experience the extreme, but in a safe way. So that's definitely important. And another interesting thing, I know this is kind of a little side piece here, but I was browsing on weather.com earlier today and saw this interesting story that I came across that there's pretty much a mountain of garbage about the height of a 3-story building that collapsed due to some very heavy rains. And unfortunately, 17 people were killed from this mountain of garbage that pretty much collapsed. This was in Mozambique. And this was just outside of the country's capital city. And pretty much what happened is we had a release about a lot of heavy rain, probably 3 or 4 inches of rain out there. And that, garbage heap pretty much gave way. And, unfortunately, it's a very poor third world country area, and several homes were destroyed from the what I'm calling the garbage landslide in that area. And 17 people were unfortunately killed in that incident. So that is your international weather news for the day. So definitely pretty sad situation out there. Dan, you've got your radar pulled up. What are we looking at here right now?
Well, I zoomed in here. We're looking at about just southwest of Peoria in Illinois. These storms are moving northeast across, and just taking a look at some things here. I don't think we're looking at anything that's going to be productive for us with temperatures being too low, but it was worth taking a look at.
Yeah, I mean, up there, not expecting
really not much there.
Yeah, not really expect severe weather up there, and the severe weather threat for today didn't quite pan out across Oklahoma and Texas like we were hoping to. I mean, we had some, thunderstorms, but didn't really have any severe weather today across those regions. According to SPC that I saw. Let me see. Yeah, we haven't received any storm reports for today. So hopefully this weekend things will be a little different for us. Yeah, that's okay. That's Peoria, Illinois. That's central Illinois, west central Illinois.
You're looking at kind of west central Illinois there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
For the record, if anybody didn't know, Chicago's tower's down.
Got a little half-inch hail core going along with that.
Moving northeast at 55 knots. Yeah, those storms are racing off.
It had a little bit of interesting characteristics there on the last couple of scans that was worth zooming in for, but that's kind of falling apart now. So, but a little bit of hail that might reach the ground.
Yeah, that's if the layer is not too warm, the layer that hail has to fall through. You don't want it melting. It might all melt before it reaches the ground, depending on how warm the upper layer air levels are tonight out there in that area.
Yeah, Joey, you were talking about international weather in other parts of the world. I've got some later this week over my way. We're expecting a very significant cold blast coming from up parts of Siberia. Beast from the east, we call it, but it's expected to be a particularly bad one. So we're getting a portion of what could be a polar vortex coming down from there. Temperatures could get down as maybe as low as minus 18 degrees C, maybe minus 20. You could do the maths for the Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Top of my head.
That's definitely cold.
That's good. Yeah, that's
definitely cold.
Colder than I think than I can ever remember experiencing before, if it holds up, and it's set to bring a significant snow event with it as well. So if I do get out, if it does all come together, I will look to try and go out and get some pics and vids.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to that when you send them in, and we'll post them on our Facebook and our Twitter. So again,
And I remember
definitely be sure to
landscape and not portrait as well.
yeah, landscape. That's right. So definitely be sure to follow us on Twitter. Hopefully, we'll get to see some of Ben's pictures and video here in the next couple of days. Interesting, Dan and Ben and Laura. Well, Laura's not really dealing with too much cold right now. She's dealing with a lot of melting snow and flooding. But here in the Southeast, Nick, we're here in the Southeast. We're in Georgia, and we actually had some record warm temperatures today across ports in the Southeast. Louisville, Kentucky hit a record today of 79 degrees. Even up in parts of the Northeast, we're looking at some warmer temperatures this coming week. Places like Baltimore, Washington, D.C., up into, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Some of those areas could be setting record warm temperatures. We're talking temperatures in the 70s up into parts in the Northeast, which is really not that common for this time of year in February. Usually the Northeast, February, maybe nor'easters. So definitely.
Yeah, it's always, especially up in the north, man, this time of year, they're always getting blasted with either some kind of winter storm or some kind of cold front with snow involved. And then usually around this time of year, we're generally still sitting at getting into the early portions of spring, we're generally still sitting, at nights and early in the mornings in the upper 30s, and throughout the day hitting, maybe mid 40s, maybe low 50s. But, right now, yeah, I think, hang on, let me check. I think where I'm at right now, I am currently sitting at 57 right now, and it's almost 9:45 at night.
Yeah,
so usually around this. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say usually that's like our daytime high temperature is usually for this time of year.
Exactly, and it's almost 50 degrees right now.
Anybody's interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely some crazy weather for sure.
According to weather.com, for tomorrow, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, but a high of 73 and a low of 63, and that's for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is very uncommon for this time of year.
Yeah, Thursday, we're supposed to get pretty close to 80 degrees here in Stone Mountain. I believe we're expecting a high of 79 degrees on Thursday. Thunderstorms on Wednesday with that cold front that's going to be sweeping through pretty quick.
I want to say on Saturday. Well, I was at work over in Marietta. I think we hit, if I remember looking at it correctly, we hit a total high of somewhere between 75 and 77. I can't exactly remember the exact number off the top of my head, but enough to where I'm not wearing a hoodie or any of my warmer clothes. I'm running around in a thin T-shirt and starting to really sweat, at work, wearing my work uniform. And for this time of year, out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Dan up there, Wisconsin, have you done any barbecuing lately with your, 40s that you've had up there?
Oh, we certainly could. That ain't going to stop us. It's easier to barbecue in the snow than it is the rain. So
this is true.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. But, this, I was just taking a look at the calendar. This is already the last Stormcast that we're going to have for the month of February.
Mm-hmm. Our next one will be March.
So even though we're talking about snow and stuff right now, it's not too early to start thinking about severe weather. In fact, I was just logging on to my local National Weather Service here for my area, and they've already started to post Skywarn spotter training schedules for this upcoming season. Awesome. And the first one already starts in the middle of March. So we might be talking snow and cold and winter weather advisories tonight, but chase season right around the corner.
That it is. And you bring up an excellent point. It's February and March coming right around the corner, but we've had actually some severe weather. We actually had back on February 7th, which was just a little under 2 weeks ago. So it was actually right after our last Stormcast that we did. There were 3 tornadoes here in Georgia. They were weak tornadoes, a couple EF0s and an EF1. one in Haralson County, one in Heard County, and one in Talbot County.
They might be weak tornadoes, but still enough to wreck your day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so the Haralson County was an EF0. That had 85-mile-per-hour winds. Only was about a mile and a quarter long, but I mean that went right over a fairly populated area. Had it been stronger, probably would have done a lot more damage. That was at 7:43 in the morning. That one did some roof damage to a couple of houses. Snapped some trees there in that area. Later,
that's an early time for a tornado to happen.
Yeah,
7:43 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it from last year, though. Look at January of 2016 when that big one hit Albany at the end of January.
Yeah, that was 2017. That was last year, the one you're referring to, Nick.
That's what I meant, 2017. I'm still got my years mixed up.
Yeah,
we had one to touch down Uniontown, PA, a few days back.
Yeah, and so that was the EF1, I believe, with winds of 85 or 90 miles per hour, the Union County one. Then we had this one in Heard County, Georgia. That was the EF1 with 95 mile per hour winds, 5 miles long, over a much more rural area of Georgia. Just uprooted some trees out in that area. This is at 9:04 a.m. Uprooted nearly.
Mike Phelps was on one of them. I can't remember exactly which one he was on, but he live streamed it on Facebook.
Yeah, he was on the Talbot County tornado. That's in west central Georgia. That was later that day. This was an EF0 tornado, and it had winds of 85 miles per hour, a path length of 3.7 miles long, maximum width of 200 yards. That one did some damage to trees. Also crossed over a highway there. No injuries reported with that. That was at 11:10 in the morning. So again, morning tornadoes here in Georgia a couple weeks ago, which is a sign of hopefully some more active severe weather. And we'll really have to see what this coming weekend is going to be like with that severe weather. So, yeah. Well, before
keep in mind, me and Joey will be out there on them if it happens.
Hopefully so. Well, before we wrap up the episode of StormCast here, I want to give everyone an opportunity to kind of have your closing thoughts for this episode. Again, I want to thank each of you guys for being a part of it here. So Ben, we'll start with you, man. What are your closing thoughts for our viewers here?
Well, what I would want to say is just with an additional note for Saturdays to just make sure you keep very aware of it. As I say, it may happen, it may not, but keep your eyes on it, because if it does happen, even if you think it's not going to happen and it does, and you're not ready for it, it could cost you. So just be weather aware, be safe. As what was the phrase you used, Joe, with extreme weather? Be the extreme, but do it safely.
Yeah. Experience the extreme, but do it safely.
So that's the one.
Awesome. Good to have you on here, Ben. All right, Dan, what are your closing thoughts for this evening?
Snow's a melting, spring's around the corner, chase season is upon us. I think we're all ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, bring it on.
Bring it on. Laura, great to have you on here tonight. So glad you were able to join us.
Oh, thank you.
What's your closing thoughts here for this Stormcast?
Be weather ready. Pay attention to your local forecast. Know the difference between a watch and warning. And I look forward to chasing once the weather warms up.
Awesome. And Nick, closing comments, man.
Like everybody else said, man, be weather aware. Pay attention to your local news outlets and your meteorologists there. Know the difference between watching and warning, especially with the flooding coming through. Turn around. Don't drown. Don't feel like you can be, a tough guy or anything like that and think you can go through anything, because you know what they say. I mean, God forbid, person can drown in an inch of water. You know, get enough water in to sweep your car right away. If you're in the winter weather area, make sure you're stocked up with all supplies that you need, and excuse me, make sure, you know, stay indoors. Don't take any chances. And like Dan said, spring's around the corner, chase season's upon us, so we're going to be out there. So everybody needs to stay safe.
Awesome.
And
you know what?
take the forecast for the coming days as read. Never just, if you see a forecast, never just think, oh, well, that's what's going to happen then, because it can change in a heartbeat and can catch you unawares. So
that it
always
can,
keep an
my
eye on
friend, that it can. Weather is ever changing. It changes really fast. You always got to be expecting the unexpected when it comes to severe weather. But again, I want to thank everyone here, Ben, Dan, Laura, Nick. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this week's Stormcast. We will be back here on Stormcast in 2 weeks. Join us March 5th, live here on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. Check out more videos on extremeweathervideos.com. If you're wanting a polo shirt, we're selling them on our website. Go to extremeweathervideos.com/shop. Share your pictures with us on Instagram. Use the hashtag EWVLive. Till next time, guys, stay safe out there. Enjoy the weather and experience the extreme with Extreme Weather Videos. We'll catch you guys on our next episode of Stormcast in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching.
Later, everybody.
good night.
Have a good night.